We are going to embark on a trip. Does anybody know what the word embark means?
Pretend.
No, but keep trying.
Imagine.
It's okay if the answers are wrong. Imagine's not bad. Embark, E-M-B-A-R-K. It means to start on something. And it is usually a word used in connection with travel. So we are going to embark on an adventure. We are going to embark, actually, on a mini research assignment. Today and even tomorrow, we're going to have a special library class tomorrow. And you are going to be looking at different countries around the world and deciding where you want to live. In fact, you are moving. You and your families and your pets and your cats and your dogs are going to move. Pretend only. You're moving to a country, a new country, for a little bit, for a short period of time. You can come home, back to the United States again. But you are going to decide what country you're going to live in. You can make this decision. You can pick any country, but it is somewhat limited by the books that we have here on the tables. I have books from many countries spread on these tables. In a few minutes, you are going to get up in a few minutes and come over and browse through the books, browse through the countries, and decide, where do I want to live? You may have an idea in your mind already. Think about countries maybe you have visited, or countries, hey, I need attention over here and no talking. You need to think about where you have visited and liked, where you want to visit, countries that might have interesting sites you want to see. Perhaps in England, you want to go see where the Queen lives, or you want to see the beautiful animals in Africa. So think about these things as you look. So how are we going to find out? How are we going to find facts about our country? You'll notice, just a minute, sweetie. You'll notice that there's a little box on the left underneath your name on the worksheet, which says, where can I find facts about my country? Boys, you have to be working on the worksheets now. Please listen as we talk. Thank you. We are going to write down places where we think we can find facts about our country. So Emily, why don't you go first? You had a good idea. Where do you think we can find information, facts about our country?
Where we got the book?
The book, right? Books. Books are a great source of information when you are looking for facts about your country, or when you are looking for information about any topic. Books are a good place to look for that information. So I'm going to ask you, in that box on the left, to write the word books on the top line, because that's where you are going to find information about your countries. That's one, what we call a source of information. When you are doing research, when you are looking for information, you are looking for different sources of information. So that's what researchers call the different places you go to get information. One source of information is a book, and here it is. Are there other types of, now this is a nonfiction or information book, right? You guys know that. What other types of books might you go to look for information about your country? Go ahead, Kelly.
Encyclopedia.
Perfect answer. Everybody forgets about encyclopedias these days, so I'm so glad to know that you're thinking that. Encyclopedias. Encyclopedias are books that contain lots of facts about lots of different topics. This is an example of one volume of the World Book Encyclopedia, which we have in our library. We can read books, encyclopedias, atlases. What do you think about talking as a way of gathering information? Anybody have an idea? Asking questions. That's a great answer. Who is the best person to ask questions about? You could ask a teacher. You could also ask someone who maybe lives in that country. So wait, before you write, let's talk about it a little bit more. When we are searching for information and we're talking to people, these talks have a special name. They're called interviews. Interviews.
You were saying?
We are interviewing people to gather information. And if you are going to live in a foreign country, it might be best to gather information from people who know the most about that country. So even better than your teacher or your librarian, it would be good to interview someone who actually lived in that country. And if that person is your teacher or librarian, then that's a good person to talk to. Yes?
Do you mean someone from that country that came here? How are you supposed to talk to someone that's in a different country?
Excellent question. What can you do if you want to talk to someone in a different country, Michaela?
Send a note.
You could travel there. Put travel down on your list. You can travel.
We don't have any more lines.
Just put a comma. You can use one line for two different things. You can travel to that country and talk to people. You can call someone on the telephone and talk to them.
But what if you don't know? You could send a note.
You could send a note and talk to those people.
Call them.
You can email the people. In other words, you can interview people in various ways. You can travel. You can travel and see the country. You can travel and talk to the people. You can call the people. So the point is that sources of information are not only found in books and in something you can read. It's also something you can do. One or two people, and it's not your fault, I'm not saying this was a bad thing to do, but one or two people found books about their country that were fiction books and wrote those fiction books down as their additional source. And you know, fiction books can serve as a source of information about your country. For our project, though, I'm more interested in you looking at nonfiction books. So for those people who picked a fiction book, I'm going to suggest another book for you. So you didn't make a mistake. I just should have taken a closer look at your papers to see what kind of a book you identified. So if I give you a different book than the one you identified yesterday, don't worry about it. Also, can you pay attention and not use your iPads at this time? Thank you. The other thing is, when you are looking for information, sometimes it's hard to find. So we had a couple of people who only found one print source in our library about their topic. I think it was Switzerland.
Yes.
We only have one book about Switzerland. And there was another country too. Maybe it was Kenya or Jamaica. Very good. Now, Lily, interestingly, found one other nonfiction book about Kenya from the middle school library, and I brought it over. And it's not what you would think is a traditional nonfiction book that you could gather facts from for a research product. But it's a great book, and it is nonfiction, and I want to show it to you. It's called Wangari's Trees of Peace.
Oh yeah, I saw.
This is a wonderful book about Kenya, and it's about one woman who made a difference in Kenya, and it's her biography. It's a story of her life, and that's why we call it a biography. So even though this is not a book so much about the landforms in Kenya, or the cities, or the roads, it's a book about a very important person and what she did for the country of Kenya. So I would say this book is okay to use for a project of this kind if it suits your purposes. So I just want to let you know there are lots of kinds of books out there you can use for your research projects. So what, for other people, Kenya, there were two other countries, and I'm going to talk to these people individually when you come to collect your projects. Sometimes when you're looking for books in libraries, I was starting to say, the information is not there. So you have to go beyond the library to look for the information you're seeking. Today, we are going to go beyond our library. we are going to go and look at the Rye Library website online. And in both of these places, the online encyclopedia, it's called Britannica, and the National Geographic website on the Rye Library website, you can plug in a research term to find information about your country. And for you guys, what is that research term? If you are looking for information about your country, what word are you going to put in the search box? Go ahead, Megan. Erin. Your country name, thank you. She was going to say Spain because that's her country, and then she made it more general, thank you. You'll put in your country name. So I am on your sheets, on the first page, yesterday you identified your 2 print sources. Today, you're going to turn the page, and at the top, you are asked to put down the encyclopedia article and encyclopedia title that you are looking at in the Rye Library website. So all of you will really have the same encyclopedia title because you are all going to look at the Britannica Encyclopedia online and you are going to find your country there.